Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we re-diving into a topic that is shaping the future of our planet and our economies, the green energy revolution. Specifically, we're looking at two North American giants, the United States and Canada, and asking a big question. Who is better positioned to lead this incredible transformation? It's a friendly rivalry, but one with massive implications. So, grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's get into it. And hey, if you enjoy this kind of deep dive, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel out. First, let's set the stage. The race to dominate green energy isn't just about building solar panels or wind turbines. It's a complex marathon involving policy, investment, natural resources, technological innovation, and public will. Both the US and Canada have unique strengths and face different challenges. This isn't a simple who's better question. It's about understanding their distinct paths. Let's start with the United States. When you think of the US, you think of scale. Everything is bigger, and that applies to both the potential and the problems. The game changer for the US has been the Inflation Reduction Act, or IRA. Despite its name, this is arguably the most significant piece of climate legislation in US history. It's pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into clean energy through tax credits, grants, and loans. This massive financial injection is turbocharging everything from electric vehicle manufacturing to solar and wind farm development. We're seeing huge projects pop up across the country, especially in the Sun Belt for solar and the Great Plains for wind. The IRA has essentially sent a giant signal to the market. If you build green in America, there are serious financial incentives for you. This has attracted a flood of domestic and international investment. The sheer size of the US market means that when it moves the world. If the US can successfully scale up its green manufacturing and deployment, its global influence will be immense. Furthermore, the US is a powerhouse of innovation. Think Silicon Valley, MIT, and countless research universities and startups. This ecosystem is a breeding ground for the next generation of green technologies. Better batteries, more efficient solar cells, advancements in green hydrogen, and even fusion energy. The venture capital landscape in the US is unparalleled, providing the high-risk funding needed to turn breakthrough ideas into commercial realities. This innovative edge is a massive asset. If a revolutionary new energy technology is going to emerge, there's a good chance it will have roots in the United States. However, the US also faces significant hurdles. The first is political polarization. Energy policy can swing dramatically from one administration to the next. This creates uncertainty for long-term investors. A project that's highly subsidized today might face a different reality in 4 or 8 years. This political whiplash can slow down momentum. Another major challenge is infrastructure. The US power grid is aging and fragmented. You can generate all the wind power you want in Texas or Iowa, but if you can't efficiently transmit that electricity to cities on the coasts, you have a major bottleneck. Upgrading the national grid is a monumental and expensive task that requires coordinating federal, state, and local governments, as well as private utilities. It's a puzzle with thousands of pieces, and it's a critical one to solve for the green transition to succeed. Now, let's turn our attention north to Canada. Canada's approach is different, perhaps more methodical. One of Canada's biggest advantages is its existing energy landscape. A staggering 60% of Canada's electricity already comes from hydropower. That's an incredible head start. This means Canada isn't starting from scratch. It's building on an already very green foundation. Its primary task is to decarbonize the remaining sectors, like transportation and heavy industry, and expand its clean electricity supply to meet future demand. Canada also boasts a treasure trove of critical minerals. We're talking about lithium, cobalt, nickel, and graphite, the essential ingredients for batteries and other green technologies. The world needs these minerals, and Canada has them in abundance. The government is actively working to build a mines-to-mobility supply chain, meaning they want to do everything from mining the raw materials to processing them and manufacturing the final products, like EV batteries, right within Canada. This strategy could make Canada an indispensable partner in the global green economy, reducing reliance on other parts of the world for these vital resources. On the policy front, Canada has been very consistent. It was one of the first major economies to implement a nationwide carbon price. This policy makes polluters pay, creating a clear and long-term financial incentive for industries to reduce their emissions and invest in cleaner technologies. While carbon pricing can be politically contentious, its consistent application over several years has provided the kind of policy stability that businesses look for when making long-term investment decisions. But Canada isn't without its own set of challenges. The biggest one is scale, the flip side of the US coin. Canada's population and economy are about 1/10 the size of the United States. This means its domestic market is smaller, and it can't match the sheer financial firepower of something like the IRA. Canadian companies often express concern about being able to compete with their heavily subsidized American counterparts. There's a real risk of a brain drain and investment drain, where Canadian talent and capital flow south to take advantage of the more lucrative incentives in the US. Another complex issue for Canada is the role of its traditional oil and gas sector, which is a huge part of its economy, particularly in provinces like Alberta. The transition to green energy involves navigating a delicate balance. How to support a green future without cratering a vital part of the current economy and alienating the hundreds of thousands of people who work in it. This requires a just transition, which is socially and politically difficult to manage. So, let's put it all together. Who's going to lead? It's not a simple answer because they might end up leading in different ways. The United States is playing a high-stakes, high-reward game. With the IRA, it's making a massive bet on domestic manufacturing and rapid technological deployment. If it succeeds, the US could become the world's green tech manufacturing hub, exporting technology and products globally. Its leadership will be defined by its market power, its speed of innovation, and the sheer scale of its transformation. Think of the US as the sprinter, capable of incredible bursts of speed thanks to massive financial fuel injections. Canada, on the other hand, is playing the long game. Its leadership will likely be more foundational. By leveraging its vast natural resources, both clean electricity from hydro and the critical minerals beneath the ground, Canada is positioning itself as the essential supplier for the global green economy. Its leadership might be less about flashy new factories and more about providing the stable, reliable, and ethically sourced building blocks that everyone else needs. Think of Canada as the marathon runner, relying on its strong natural endurance and a steady, consistent pace. Ultimately, the most likely outcome isn't one country winning and the other losing. It's a symbiotic relationship. The US will need Canada's critical minerals and clean electricity to fuel its manufacturing boom. Canadian companies will find enormous opportunities in the massive US market. Their grids are interconnected, their economies are intertwined, and their goals are, at the highest level, aligned. The real race isn't America versus Canada. It's humanity versus a ticking clock. The success of both nations is crucial for North America to become a true global leader in climate action. The US brings the capital and market scale, while Canada brings the resources and a stable green energy foundation. Together, they form a continental powerhouse that is far more formidable than the sum of its parts. The path forward will be a collaboration, with each country playing to its strengths. So what do you think? Which country's strategy do you find more compelling? Are you more impressed by the massive financial push of the US or the resource-rich, methodical approach of Canada? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear your perspective on this. Thanks so much for watching today. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Your support means the world and allows us to keep making content like this. Until next time, stay curious.